Hey everybody, welcome to Local Access Gaming. It's the golden age of Snap. I don't know. I thought that was going to be cool with the tagline. I don't know if that worked. Doesn't matter. Today, we're playing one of my favorite decks. It's one of my favorites because it is the most consistent. Obviously, a Bullseye deck will center around Bullseye. Now, I don't call this the Bullseye deck. I call it the Eye of the Scorn. Get it? I don't know. I was feeling cheesy. And I'm not even sure if I came up with this deck myself. Maybe I found it somewhere. I don't know. But Bullseye is a great card when used correctly because he takes power. Well, let me just read it to you. On activate. Upon activation, discard all cards that cost one or less from your hand. Afflict that many different enemy cards with -2 power. I always thought it was -1. I should read the descriptions more often. That's a huge ability. And when this deck hits, it hits big. Along with Bullseye, you've got Scorn, of course. When you discard this, return it to your hand and give +2 power to itself and one of your cards in play. You might not ever play Scorn in this deck, but it's constantly adding power to your board. Sometimes you can play it. Blade. Now, Blade is probably the most frustrating card in this deck because obviously, if he on reveal discards the rightmost card from your hand, you only want to play him when the rightmost card is something that you want to discard, like Scorn or any card that's not Bullseye or what's this guy's name? M.O.D.O.K. You don't want to discard him because he's going to get rid of everything. Anyway, so you've got Blade. Morbius, obviously, you want 2+ power for each time you discard a card in this game because you're going to discard a lot of cards. Swarm really helps with that. When you discard this, add 2 copies that cost 0 to your hand. You're going to end up with a hand full of swarms. And when Bullseye discards all of those swarm copies and then creates more swarm copies, that's a win situation. What is in my eye? Okay. Don't worry, everybody. I'm going to be okay. All right. So, on top of that, we've got Collector. Collector is a really big card in this game. It's probably when it hits, the second highest power card after Morbius because all of those swarms are being added to your deck. And that's +1 power for each swarm that's added. So this can be a big card. And you want to play that fairly early along with Morbius. Morbius is ongoing. Play it whenever you want. Colleen Wing discards the card that costs the least from your hand. So if you play her towards the beginning of the game and you have Swarm or Scorn in your hand, then she's going to get rid of that card and it's going to create either more copies of Swarm for you, or it's going to discard Scorn. That's going to get confusing. It's going to discard Scorn and give a card +2 power. Now, here's a big one in this deck. Frigga. Frigga? I think it's Frigga. With the double G, it would be right? Frigga. What's great about Frigga when it lands is you can play Bullseye on 3 and then Frigga on 4, bringing in another Bullseye on 5, and then M.O.D.O.K on 6, then activate Bullseye. Ooh, is that a sweet, sweet feeling? Doesn't hit all the time, but when it does, it's nice. So here's okay, let's keep going. So Gambit. We all know, God, look at that variant. So cool. This is one of the free ones where it was like, we apologize for the inconvenience. What inconvenience? This has been great. But whatever, I'll take the free stuff. Discard a card from your hand, destroy a random enemy card. Well, we want to discard a card from our hand. I typically play this uh, towards the end of the game because I'm always so scared that it's going to discard M.O.D.O.K. I never play this if Bullseye's in my hand, ever. Um, Here's a card that might be one of my favorites in this game, Crystal. Each player draws a card on reveal. Doesn't seem like much, I know. But if you're looking for that one card that makes your deck what it is, and you're not drawing it, and you're getting to like turn 3, turn 4, playing Crystal gives you one extra draw, one extra shot to get that card. Sometimes it'll save the game. So, one of my favorites. And I think we talked about M.O.D.O.K already. He discards everything, which is great when you've got a handful of swarms. All right, so enough discussion. Let's get to it. Now, I will tell you a general rule for me when I'm recording anything or streaming anything is I'm going to lose terribly, massively, pathetically. And that's just kind of how the universe works with me and this game when I'm recording. So get ready. Here we go. This is Eye of the Scorn. I think I covered all the cards. Oh, Rogue. Let's talk about Rogue. The only reason Rogue is here is if you're playing against another discard deck who happens to have Morbius, that's no good. Take that away. If you're playing against Iron Man decks or any sort of deck where they use that one ongoing ability that just puts you in the toilet, that's what Rogue is there for. Worst case scenario, she's just another card to discard. But I've found that when I play this deck without Rogue, I'm missing her. So there it is. Let's get to the games. Gosh, I hope this isn't too terrible. I always lose when we do this. Here we go. Oh, representing Nerd Dynamite Force, the Alliance here. I was in the one called Kitties for a long time, which was great. I loved Kitties. Um, but I moved into Nerd Dynamite Force. I love the conversations there. In the chat, people are always talking about things. Oh, I drew two cards from my opponent's deck, and they both snapped. They both snapped. They snapped. And look at both of these cards. They're both sixes. I did get his Red Hulk. That's kind of cool. But there's nothing we can play right now. However, we can play Collector, and that's going to obviously be next. So there's that Power Stone because they're playing Thanos. If we get this Rogue, oh, we got Rogue, we can take away their ability to give Thanos whatever it is, 22 power, whatever. Let's see how many cards there. All right, so it's just Thanos. It's not Thanos Arishem. It might be Thanos Strange Supreme, and that's one of those decks that normally you just lose. But for me, it's Strange Supreme and Mr. Negative decks. Oh my God, please do not put M.O.D.O.K in the center lane, please. Hey, Sasquatch going in there. That's not bad. We'll start with that 10. Hopefully they're not going to Shang-Chi me. All right, so here's one of those situations, okay? So we see that we can remove this card's ability to bump up that card, but which one seems more viable for us? Viable isn't the right word, but they're going to move that shield over here. So I feel like this will help. This will help. But what that will do is it's going to allow his Thanos to get that 22 power. Let's just see what happens. This does not bother us because there you go. We can play things like, all right, so here's a great example. We're at turn 4. We don't see Bullseye yet. That's a problem. So We simply drop Crystal here. Now, I know we could play Scorn, but I have a feeling that we're going to get Bullseye. So I'm going to leave Scorn here just to get that extra 2 points taken away from our opponent. So I'm going to go ahead and hit in turn. Let's see what happens here.
Assemble.
So we did. We got him. We got him. Okay. Okay. So this is one of those situations where they've got eight. Bullseye ain't gonna make much of a difference here unless these swarms end up, knocking both of these cards down. So I think it is worth the risk, especially if we throw Morbius in there. Morbius is going to be the biggest card on the board, bigger than even Red Hulk. Red Hulk seems like it's going to be huge. If this hits correctly, Morbius is going to get up into the 20s, and so might Collector. We shall see. Okay, so I don't think the center lane is going to do anything for us. Um, oh boy, look what we just got. Blade is going to take out Swarm, giving us two swarms. Then M.O.D.O.K is going to take out those two swarms and give us two more swarms, which is going to build up Collector and it's going to build up Bullseye. I think this is a snap. So even though it's, look, it's turn six, it just makes me feel good because I rarely snap. You'll learn that. I think what we do is we go there, and then we go there, and then don't forget to activate your Bullseye. I have done that in the past. I think this is going to work out for us. Let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. 1, 2. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Look at that, Mr. Relentless Reaper. You just got caught in the eye of the scorn.
Assemble.
Come on.
Victory.
And there it is. And that, my friends, is why Bullseye decks are so powerful. Look at this 22 power Morbius. Look at this 18 power Collector. When it hits big. When it doesn't completely ruin your day, but you just feel like, of course, the one card you don't draw. Anyway, hey, look, this is one game. That's all this local access gaming channel is going to be while I've got such little time. So, hey, join me on the next one. Maybe I'll play a different kind of deck. And hey, maybe I'll win. I plan to post losses and wins. It's the real experience of Marvel Snap. It's not always like this. In fact, it's seldom like this, unless you're using this deck. All right, we'll see you next time. Do the things with the liking and the subscribing and all that, and take care. Thanks for joining us on Local Access Gaming, the golden age of Snap. Yeah, that kind of grows on me. See ya.